Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'd like to start by wishing everyone a pleasant day or evening wherever you all are. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist, that's a CBT therapist, and a mental health counselor. I would like to go back and just talk a bit about the case of 16-year-old Kylie Rodney. May God bless her soul, and may her family heal and get time and space to grieve in this heartbreaking moment that they are going through. It is so sad to lose a teenager at such a young age. She just graduated early. She's a very smart and well-educated, bright girl. Today I'd like to discuss a bit about the interview, or the couple of interviews that has been going around about Meghan. I believe she's the neighbor of Sammi. Her daughter, who's a bit younger than Sammi, knows Sammi well, and they've gone in the same school or high school. And Meghan's son is 18 years old. He's the same age as Sammi. And to start with, I would like to thank Meghan for at least coming and giving us a better insight to the case and sharing her opinion about what she believes that happened. She believes it was an accident, but that remains to be seen when this case gets solved. In some ways, I'll be honest, I wish it would be an accident, because it's a tragedy to lose such a young life, no matter what. But I would say an accident is much better than foul play, especially for the family and for the loved ones of Kylie that she leaves behind. And it's a very sad case. But I've been sitting and writing. I must have written around 15 pages of all the red flags that I have noticed with Meghan's interview. I hardly go into live chats, but I went into one of my favorite person's live chat. That is Emma, Crime Stories Obsessed. I love Emma. I've known Emma for the last 2-3 years, I believe. Emma's just a beautiful person, inside and outside. Emma's always kind, supportive, non-judgmental. Please like, share, and subscribe to Crime Stories Obsessed. And today when I was in a live, Meghan was there giving interviews. Sorry, it's my cat. Meghan was there giving interviews, or she was up on the panel with Emma and 2 other people. And I believe Emma did a professional interview with her. She was kind and nice to her. I did send her a couple of super chats because I wanted my message basically to go across. And what I notice is, this is my personal opinion, that Meghan was defending Sammi a lot. And there's nothing wrong by defending someone you know. And it could be that because Sammi is innocent. But what I did not like with Meghan, honestly, is that the questions that I was asking and sending in the super chat was strictly facts. I always hold to the facts. So when she was saying everything was an accident and all, I was asking her things like, how come Sammy said that the last time she spoke to Kylie was at 12:36, and law enforcement says that Kylie's phone last pinged at 12:33 or 12:30. There was another couple of questions or statements that I passed, and I noticed her saying that twice, that let's not concentrate on what happened before. The main thing is to talk about now. But what Meghan needs to understand is that if she ever watches this channel, is that when you are building a timeline in any case in true crime, it is important to follow all the interviews of what Sammy has said, what Max has said, what Kate has said, what Jagger has said, and what the... Sorry, let me pull up the slide. My cat is sitting and playing with it. So let me leave it. Yeah, so what Meghan needs to understand is whatever is being said in the interviews, she cannot debunk it, or she cannot pass it off and say, let's not focus on that. Because those are the facts. What we get from the news and what Sammy decided to say from her own mouth is something to consider about. To start with, I'd like to say that we have to obviously wait to the 1st of November to get the whole facts and nothing but the facts. The autopsy has to be done, and the other results, like the toxicological results and everything, has to come, obviously. And we are aware of that. I've always said that they're going to rule it out as an accident, even if it was a foul play. Because, I'll be honest, the way this case has been dealt with from the start, I'm not blaming or pointing fingers at law enforcement, but the facts remain where the facts are. Law enforcement should have done a better job from the start with this case. They did not preserve the crime scene from the start. In fact, they said it out in the press conference that they let everyone, like, they did not lock up the crime scene. They let everyone continue to use the lakes and everything, just in case. That they said the more eyes that people have on it, the better. I do not agree with that, because the more eyes and the more access people have to open investigation, there will be more chances for people to plant things in the crime scene. It's a known fact. We're in our 40s. We're not in a... To put it this way, I'm an adult and I've been watching too many movies. I've been seeing too many crime scenes. I have actually been, like I've said before, I've been a translator for the Norwegian police for 10 years, actually. And that would say in the courts, I used to translate and interpret for the people who speak Somali, Arabic, English, who couldn't speak that, Norwegian, so I would translate it for them. So I've seen even how they work there, and they even used to do a reconstruction of a crime scene. And honestly, I've been at least in 2-3 of them, and there were murder cases. But luckily, the people I was translating for were the start suspects, but later on, they were set free because it is a group of people, so it wasn't them who did it. But then what I'm trying to say... Sorry, my cat is everywhere. Sorry, guys. So basically what I'm trying to say is I have seen live crime scenes and how they reconstruct it, and because they have to play it out in court and all that. I've been witness to rape cases, immigration cases, many other cases. So besides having the mental health background as a cognitive behavior therapist and as a mental health counselor, 10 years of my life I've been like I haven't been working with the police, but yes, when you translate and interpret for law enforcement, you automatically are sworn in not to talk about the cases, which I don't intend to. But what I'm trying to say is a crime scene is supposed to be preserved from the start, definitely. And the way Placer County handled this whole scene was completely wrong. They let people access in and out to the pro into the place. What's it called? Basically into the Prosser camping grounds, into the Prosser Lake, into Boca, around all those places. So what I'm trying to say is anyone can obviously, common sense, they can plant evidence or they can take away evidence from the place. Meghan said that to me in the super chat. She said that we have to move on and think about the case, move further. No. If she ever hears that that is the wrong way of handling a case, when we try to figure out a case, the timeline is important and I always stick to the facts. What Samantha Smith has told us is what we are supposed to follow. That is the only thing we can go on. What her, Mags, Kate, law enforcement, there are very few people to follow on in the case. So we do have to try and analyze from the little what we have. And I have written a couple of pages, so let's see. I don't think I can finish all of them today, but I'll try as much as I can. Things I noticed that was really strange for me is Meghan, to start with, his relationship with Sammi is that she is, like I said, a neighbor and a close friend. She says she's been living in Truckee for the last 7 years. She grew up in Truckee and then she moved out of Truckee and she came back to Truckee. But she said that most of the parents there, they have been in the same high school and same colleges and same schools. And she has a son who's 18 years old and a daughter, I believe, who's 1 or 2 years younger than the son. She mentioned her daughter's name, but with all due respect, I'm not going to mention any minor's name. Although she mentioned it, I don't think that is important. That's not relevant to the case, and especially with so many channels attacking these minors, not attacking, that's the wrong word, but harassing them, like Jagger said, and with all the accounts and informations being put up by channels, I do not intend to do that. So coming back to the point, she said her son and Sammy are the same age, 18 years old. They're neighbors. And her daughter goes to the same high school with Sammy. And she said that she got to know Sammy because her son would have problems and issues in school. And I think it's a high school or school whatsoever. And Meghan asked her daughter to contact Sammy, and so that Sammy could tell them and help them out with the son with these issues at school. Moving on from there, she said that she did this interview with Michelle, and I think it was a wonderful interview. I respect the fact that Michelle did a beautiful job because she did basically what we do in mental health counseling. Let the person talk, give them chance to talk, because things will start flying, skeletons will start flying out of people's mouth. So many people are saying she should have asked more and all. I don't think so. I think she did a beautiful interview. She gave her more chances by not talking so much. Michelle let her reveal her story so that we could analyze more of it. And I've heard many people saying the same about Toni, American Dream Chaser. In fact, I think Toni did a wonderful interview too, because let's not forget, we've seen red flags with Sammy, but that doesn't make her guilty and it doesn't make anyone else guilty till proven by law. So the way Toni conducted his interview was with respect to. I would have done the same, because you have to have empathy. This is an 18-year-old girl who lost her friend, whether she was involved in it or not. And to get out more information from a person, although they are suspect in eyes or not, it's always better you get out things with kindness and not with rudeness or anything else. So that's how Meghan got to know Sammy, through her daughter and through her son, who's 18 years old. And then she said, this is where I find things a bit fishy. She said that this happened on Friday. She did not speak to Sammy on Saturday, but she spoke to Sammy on Sunday. This is Meghan. And she said that Sammy spoke to me, and Sammy, she said, I'll just come to the main points. She said that that's Meghan, arranged the interview for Sammy to speak to Toni. She said at the start, I told Sammy to speak to Ikemel, but she decided to speak to Toni, which I do not find anything wrong. Whether it's Ikemel, whether it's Toni, whether it is crime stories obsessed, whether it's Zav Girl, whether it's whoever, I think it's important just to get the message out. But I find it a bit strange that Meghan was the one who arranged the interview. And then what I liked about what she said is Sammy told Toni exactly everything that she told me. She did not change it. I don't know about people, but I take that to be a bit like, put it this way. It looked like, for me, this is my personal opinion, guys. So I felt like they pre-planned this interview, that Meghan told already Sammy what to say and what not to say. That's what it sounded to me. Then she said that, she said, I spoke to Sammy on Sunday, 11:30 at night. She doesn't have the exact facts. That's what Meghan said. But Sammy and her daughter are very close. So put it this way, if somebody is close to your daughter or your son, there will be a bit prejudice there, obviously. You are going to look after your friend or your neighbor's friend or whatsoever because they decided to come to you. I'm not saying necessarily you'll do that, but it shows that they have connections and a relationship. So I wonder if Sammy spoke to Meghan before she spoke to law enforcement, or did she speak to her after she spoke to law enforcement? Because that has a lot to say. Because Sammy did the interview, I believe, with Toni on Tuesday. So Sammy had at least a good 2-3 days to get her story right. Meghan said she said, Sammy spoke to Toni, and she told him exactly the same thing that she told me. Question is, what did she tell Meghan? We know what she told Sammy because we've seen that, isn't it? But we don't know about what she told Meghan. Then there was, she said, Meghan said that her daughter and Sammy was close, like I said. She said that I asked my daughter, is this something Sammy would do? Now, I found that strange because in mental health counseling, you do a lot of active listening, and you can see, I don't know how to explain it, with the skills that we we learn in mental health counseling. It's not that we can see who's lying, but it's like a bell rings automatically. You know that something that sentence doesn't make sense. Because why would you ask your daughter, would Sammy do this? The question is, what would Sammy do? Drive Kylie's car off the cliff, off the hill? Just saying. What would she do? Would she, because already Sammy said that she left Kylie by herself. She didn't want Kylie drinking to drive her home. So that Meghan is aware of. What did she mean by, I asked my daughter, is this something that that Sammy could have done? So that is a question that puzzles me. And I wrote down, what would Sammy do? Question mark. Meghan said that none of those kids knew Sammy knew that something would go wrong. That's another thing. She said that none of the kids, none of the teenagers in the party knew that something would go down. Why would you say that line? It doesn't make sense for an adult to say it. Meghan said that, yeah, she said it was a graduation night party. She said there was another party, this is important, in Reno the same night. She said that's why when Sammy was asked, could Kylie have ran away, that people were relating to the party in Reno. She said that is 35 minutes away from Truckee. So we heard even that there was an after party, Meghan said. So I wonder, was the after party in Reno? Since there was another party going down in Reno. So could it be possible that Kylie went to the party in Reno before and then she came to Truckee later, to the place camping ground? Something is not right because we haven't heard about that party in Reno. And then Meghan and her son, she said, me and my son drove around to search for Kylie's car the next day. She said, yeah, her son was present at the party. Let's not forget that. I don't know about the daughter, but I'm sure she was present there too. So that gives, this is for entertainment purpose only, guys. And I'm just analyzing the interview in my way. So I believe that I wouldn't be surprised if Meghan, she prepared the interview between Sammi and Toni. So why is Meghan so involved, would I ask? Is it because her daughter and her son are very close to Sammi? And she asked her daughter, would Sammi do that? I'm still puzzled with that question. It doesn't really sit right with me. So is she here to defend Sammi? Or is she here because maybe out of all the children that fled away from the party, maybe her children were involved too? Just a question. She spoke a bit about the town of Truckee. She said one side of the town is wealthy and the other side isn't that wealthy. I don't know why she brought that in, but it's good to know the background of Truckee. And she said, this is very strange. This is a red flag, at least for me. She said, Meghan said that I asked Sammi all the questions that Toni would have asked her. So you can clearly see that this was a pre-planned interview. Let's not forget, it was Meghan who arranged the interview between Sammi and Toni. And she said that she should have just said, I prepared the interview and we pre-planned it before. Because she said Sammi answered all the questions that Toni Dodge would have asked her. So I wrote down there, did Meghan plan the questions? This is interesting. Sammy had, was it, I wrote, was Sammy's answers already ready? Because there was something really, I wouldn't say dodgy, but there was a lot of red flags with Meghan that I noticed. Not that the fact that she was talking too fast and she was very unsettled and quite unstable. She said she has ADHD, but I think that it was more either that she's the gossiper of the neighborhood, because you will see more things that I wrote down, or it's either that she was trying to protect Sammy, and to protect Sammy, maybe she's protecting her children that could have been involved. She said Sammy did not change her answers to Toni. She gave him the same answers that she gave me. That could be the truth, or that could be that they pre planned it again. Okay, Meghan said at once, I believe this was an accident. Meghan said that Meghan said that Sammy thought Kylie would sleep over. Basically, these people have no shame, and that is the thing that irritates me. What makes people think that a 16-year-old girl would sleep in the wilderness by herself in her car when there could be predators? Like right now, you must have seen that there's a serial killer going around who's killed 6 or 7 people. So why would you think that your 16-year-old friend is safe to sleep over in a car? And that is what Meghan said. And she said that's normal. They party there in those areas and they're very used to cleaning up. She said they cleaned up the scene. Now, this is what I find it difficult. We have a bunch of teenagers, or we have over 200 to 300 teenagers, all drunk, high with mushrooms, like Sammy said, with weed, with alcohol, whatever not is going there, loud music, lights, everything, you can imagine. Then they went to a after party, Meghan says. What makes us think that these teenagers that are inebriated, like Sammy said, and that are intoxicated and drunk and high off their head would have time to actually have the manners and decency to say, let's clean up the place before we go to the next party? They had time, and she said that's what they're being taught, and they have the morals around. They have the morals to clean up after themselves, but they don't have the morals to make sure that a 16-year-old girl got safe home by herself. I think that is disgusting. I think that is sad. And I think something really happened. Like Doug Bishop said in Adventures with Purpose. The phone call he got, somebody said that there was a fight between Kylie and somebody that they bleeped off the name, and they said, and everyone fled at once. We've heard of cars blocking the place, so I wonder what exactly happened there for this place to have, basically, for everyone to have just fled. Did they see Kylie's car falling into the water and nobody decided to call for help? Everyone must have panicked and ran away. Even if it's an accident, this is an accident that could have been prevented. So for me, it's still a foul play. I know these are youngsters. I know the parents could have done better. I'm not accusing the parents. But yes, today I will say the facts. I'm the one who always defends Kylie's mother, and I still have respect for her mother, her grandfather. The parents are grieving. But guys, we need to take better care of our teenagers. Because it's important to know, especially when your teenager could be driving home drunk. So even if Kylie did not tell her mother that she was drinking, the mother had ideas. And we've heard before that Kylie's mother used to pick her up from other parties. So this is something that could have easily been avoided. And I really do not believe it was Kylie who sent the mother the text saying that she was coming home. It could have been her. Because today, unfortunately, we saw Kylie's car, the lights showing, and many other car lights were showing that they were going the other direction, and Kylie's light was blinking and then it stopped. It went into the water. Apparently, the party next to Kylie's party, the Mexican party, a young girl, saw the car headlights in the water, and she called law enforcement, and they did not do anything about it. I don't know what's happening in Placer County, Nevada County, and Truckee County. They really need to fix their law enforcement. They need to fix their crime scenes. They need to preserve their crime scenes. I can see they're having a crisis and an epidemic with fentanyl. It's just sad the way this whole case has been handled. No wonder, even if this case turns out to be a real accident, I understand where we all are upset about. It's just that the way the whole crime scene was handled was really rubbish. It was really pathetic. And it wasn't one or two, it was many law enforcement. The FBI was involved, even the way they took out the car from the water, the crime scene, the laptop, the hairbrush, everything that fell from the truck. It was really sad. It was really sad because this is a 16-year-old girl who lost her life. And we still don't know if it's foul play. They don't know if it's foul play, so they should have just... At times it looks like law enforcement. I do understand when people are saying that they're covering up. Because why else would you let the crime scene be handled in that way? AWP did a beautiful job by getting the car, finding the car, and finding Kylie. But I don't understand why law enforcement did such a lousy job in Truckee and Placer and Nevada County by not preserving the crime scene, because we don't even know if the car was planted there later. It could have gone in that day, but still, even if you see the car blinking and falling into the water, it doesn't mean that Kylie was alone. Somebody could have hit her from behind. Somebody could have been in her car. Because Meghan said that these kids are used to driving home from the camping ground through the back roads. They avoid the highways. That's another red flag. Okay, they're avoiding the highways because they're drunk and intoxicated and they'll get pulled over. But it doesn't seem like law enforcement works there anyway, so I don't know who's going to pull them over. Yeah, then this Meghan says that she believes it's an accident. Meghan said that she and Sammy told her that she thought that Kylie would sleep in a car. But then the question still remains, if Kylie's car went into the water around 12:34 or 12:33, like it was shown today in some channels, you could see the car light blinking. How the hell did Sammy speak to Kylie at 12:36? That remains to be a mystery. Then Meghan said she's been around to the teens meeting and she was trying to talk to the teens. Meghan seems to be a very active neighbor. Maybe she should have run the scene and been law enforcement. Should have got more out of these teenagers. In some reason, I believe she's trying to help Sammy. Is it because her children were involved? Because her son was in the party? I'm sure her daughter was definitely in the party too. Yeah, this was another red flag. Meghan said that she met a mom of one of the teens and they spoke a bit, and then she asked the mom about how things are going, and the mother said that they spoke about a certain kid, and the mother said, "Oh, that boy is like my son, he's always at my house." and the FBI have already spoken to him. So she said, I felt like asking the mom, but I didn't want to intrude. If I could find out the boy's story. She asked the mom, what did he tell the FBI? Why is she so inquisitive? Is it because she wants to take back the news to Sammy and to her two teenagers? It doesn't make sense. That is another red flag. For me, these are personally what I saw. Yeah, I wrote, why did Meghan ask the mom, what did your kids tell the FBI? What do your kids know? So it looks like she arranged the interview with Toni for Sammy, and now she's going around asking other parents what their children told the FBI. It's just like Samantha was asking all the children to come to her and only to her and give her all the information and to leave the parents far, far behind. Do you all remember? So something is not right with this Samantha story. And Meghan seems to be really her free lawyer. So there's many red flags here. Yeah, why is Meghan interested in what the kids told the FBI? I wrote it again. She said that certain boy that she was talking to his parents, was last seen with Kylie and Sammi. You'll need to watch that interview that Meghan did with Michelle. Please like, share, and subscribe to her. She did I think it's called Michelle After Dark or something like that. So I just saw it and I wrote, and I didn't want to use her clip without permission. Yeah, I repeat again, the woman that Meghan was talking to, that woman said that the boy who comes to her house, who's like her son, and her son was interviewed or had a police integration with the FBI, and Meghan wanted to find out what the boy told the FBI. And she said that boy was last seen with Kylie and Sammi. Meghan mentioned that she was in the team talks with the teenagers. She was around asking the other parents questions. So why is she so interested? There's so much I wrote. That woman's son was... Let me see. I can't even understand my own handwriting without glasses. The woman's son was... Yeah. Yeah, she said, now I understood, guys. Sorry for that. Basically, Meghan saw that woman, and that woman has a son, and there's another boy that Meghan was interested about knowing what he knows, and the woman told him that boy's like my son, he's always in my house. So she asked her, what did he tell the FBI? She wanted to know. And then Meghan explained to Michelle that it's because that boy apparently was in the car that was parked next to Kylie's car, and he said he fell asleep in his car, and when he got up, Kylie's car was gone. Strange. I always found it interesting, because I hope that boy has given his statement to law enforcement. That's the main thing. She said that there was a Mexican party near the camping ground in Proso, and she said that a girl saw a car go into the lake, and she saw the headlights of the car in the lake. She called law enforcement, but law enforcement did not bother to come, obviously. And she said law enforcement did not come, just like she said that on Crime Stories Obsessed today, and I found that a big red flag. She said they did not come, just like they did not come in, what was it she said? Just like that they did not come to collect the laptop, and just like they did not come for the black bodysuit of Kylie's. So what does this woman know? Meghan knows a lot that she isn't telling. So could the bodysuit have been true? I don't know. Anyway, she said a girl witnessed the car or the headlights of the car going in and the police did not do anything. Maybe it was just an accident and everyone panicked and ran away. But then that is still wrong because they could have called for help. It's just so sad. It's so sad, this whole thing. Yeah, the girl called the police and reported it, but the police did not do anything about it because Kylie wasn't missing yet. I wonder, since Meghan said that this neighborhood, it's like a culture, everyone knows each other. It's like they've all been birthed together, raised together. It just sounded very strange and creepy, the whole interview. She said they all use the back roads and not the highways. So could someone have hit Kylie from behind, like bumped into a car on purpose? Or is it because they were blocking the roads that Kylie missed her direction and fell into the water? God forbid. But something was not right. And she said there was clearly an after party. So did something happen in the after party? Yeah. And she said that the police interviewed Jagger and Sammi for 8 hours, but that's according to Meghan. I believe that they have interviewed them a lot, but I know we know that the police has ruled out Jagger. They haven't ruled out Sammi, and this woman is busy defending Sammi. And what I found funny, she said that her children know Sammi very well for many, many years. They go to the same school. Her son and Sammi are friends, and the daughter and Sammi are very close friends. But she said her children know Sammy's parents, but she doesn't know Sammy's parents. She said she found out later on that they're lawyers. I find that very interesting. And the neighbors, yeah? Let's not forget that. She said the bodysuit wasn't taken serious, neither was the laptop. Strange that she spoke about the bodysuit. She said she even knew the dog that was buried in the place. So Ryan Upchurch grew up. That dog belonged to an old couple, and they wanted their, what's it called, dog to rest in peace. So it was an innocent burial instead of you going and saying it was Zaname X's dog and all that. That is really rubbish and that is strange. But then you need mental health therapy. Sammi told her, what was it she said? Yeah, Sammi told Meghan there were a few friendly fights there. Nothing major. Nobody was boxing each other or giving each other bruises. It was just to break up the tension in the fight. Now look at this. These people are already intoxicated and they're having friendly fights to tense down the situation. So you can imagine everyone who had beef with each other, everyone who had problems with each other would be waiting for the friendly fight so that they can kick each other's asses. Sorry to say that. And do not forget, all of these people mostly are drunk, high on mushrooms and everything. And there's fentanyl cocktails there. That is what I read on their Facebook of Kylie Rodney. I've been in it from time and time. I've been in it from the very first day, but I try not to take clips and all from there because it's not facts to go on. So there's so much of this Meghan that is all a red flag. She's another Sammi. No wonder Sammy's whole interview was a red flag because it was Meghan who planned it with her. Now we know. If you don't know now, you know, they say. Meghan said that the party was not sorry. Meghan said, yeah. Meghan said, yeah, that Sammi lied to her. You see there? Sammi lied to her and told her that she did not make any advertisements of the party. She said, Sammy told me it was a little gathering, and later on I found out it was a big gathering. There was, at the start of the interview, she kept on saying, Meghan kept on saying that all of these people are like brothers and sisters, and the friendly fight was like, she said, like brothers and sisters wearing gloves and fighting and all. And then later on, she changed it and said, oh, there were some people in the party that nobody knew, and there were people who were friends of friends of friends. That's exactly what she said. So I saw a lot of red flags with her, but then it wouldn't be strange because she was the one who planned the interview with Sammy. Sammy, you should have gone to someone better next time. Maybe go to law enforcement and confess. And you could see clearly Meghan was distancing herself from Sammy's parents, saying that she doesn't know them, but her kids know them. She said, I never even knew they were lawyers and attorneys. How do you like that? She said, these kids are being born together, raised together. It's like they share a DNA. I like that words. And I could see many people in the chat were wondering if it was a cult thing. I wouldn't say it's a cult thing, but I would say it's just a weird town, a weird community that I don't know what to say, that just has their own cultish ways of living. They're not cults, but they have just a funny way of living. And I'm not judging them, but it's just strange. One thing we know for a fact, it's a community that ain't speaking up. It's a community that left a 16-year-old girl alone. No, and they knew clearly that she wasn't safe enough to drive home by herself. So shame on the whole community for that. I know it's not the community's fault, but within those 400 people in the community, their parents who have been telling their teenagers not to talk, shame on y'all. Y'all always have to teach your teenagers the right thing and to own up. Like they say, the truth will set you free. Today is my son is 18th year old. My youngest son turned 18 today, the 6th of October. May God bless all our children and my teens and our teens. And I always teach him, like yesterday we were having a long conversation and I was just telling him about things in life and all. And he was telling me about his college and all that. And about his friends and people he's had beef with before who just are bored and start with them and all. So I was telling him one thing in life, always, sorry, I was telling him always man up, always take your responsibilities. I always taught my children, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. And I always tell them, don't do a crime if you can't do the time. It's so simple. Basically, own up to your mistakes, fix up, and move on. Take the consequences. That is important. That's what I've been taught in life, and that is what everyone should be teaching their children. It's wrong to tell your children not to speak up, so that community and their police system is really messed up. Really. Guys, it was a long interview, so I've written a couple of things. There's a guy called Colin Millen, I believe, who's apparently a predator, and he has allegedly many cases there. He was in the party and Sammy had his name written on the notebook. And he's allegedly he's a rapist, and he's been in high school. He has been abusive and violent to many of the students, but he never gets kicked out. So I don't know if he's a suspect. I believe somebody could have, even if Kylie fell in the water, if she drove in the water, I believe since these people are driving from the back roads, like Meghan said, they always drive from the back roads and not from the highways. So could somebody have, these people block the road. Could they have, maybe Kylie had no choice and she lost focus and poor girl fell out to the water. Maybe now we know the reason her parents are not talking. Maybe they're not talking because they know exactly what happened in the party. And maybe they just feel guilty and they wish they did not let Kylie go to that party. I believe that's really possible. She keeps on saying these children are innocent and they haven't done anything wrong, and she said that they were going to another after party. She said our town is like a small little bubble town. That's what she said. Yeah, a bubble town of cover up, I believe. They're now to cover up. The parents are telling their children to cover up. The police are maybe doing their own cover up. Allegedly, Wayne, the sheriff Wayne, who was his name? Yeah, is the coroner. So that's why I know this is just going to be said that it's an accident and nothing more. And she said that Meghan said the only wrong thing that Sammi did was to leave. Like, she made her own decision to leave the party because Kylie was drunk, and she did a right decision. So Meghan, that just shows a lot about you. I'm sorry to say, but that is the truth. Do not say that Sammi is right for leaving a 16-year-old girl alone in the party. That is really wrong. A 16-year-old girl drunk on top of that. That is really sad. Terrible thing to say. Meghan said that Sammi was the only one who was talking and doing all the talking, and she's getting the blame. And that is wrong for her to say, because Sammi would be doing some talking. Sammi could have been doing it for clouds. Sammi could have been doing it because she knew she was the last person to see Kylie. But nobody is, I don't know about other channels, but most of us are not harassing Sammi, but it's just that Sammi is full of red flags. Because the law enforcement said Kylie's phone pinged last at 12:30 or 12:33. So how could have Sammi spoken to her at 12:36? Sammi says there was no cameras in the area. The nearest cameras was in Highway 89. She seems to know a lot. Sammi and Meghan spoke about who she should give her interview to, and Meghan told her Ikemel, and then she went to Toni and Meghan. I repeat, Meghan said that, she told Toni exactly what she told me and all. They planned this interview together. And this was really strange. This is another red flag. Sammi said she saw Kylie last at 12:30. Kylie walked Sammi to the car, like to the car that Sammi got the lift from, and then went back to the party. That doesn't make sense. Because I remember, if I'm not wrong, I need to go back and check. I thought Sammi said that she left. She said goodbye. She kissed her goodnight. She said she loves her and she left. She didn't say that Kylie walked her to the car and went back to the party. So if that was the case, that something happened to Kylie while walking back to the party, that did not make sense. And it didn't make sense that she kept on insisting that these children in Truckee have been taught to clean up after their party. She said when we were young, we used to party there too. They can clean up after the party while they're drunk, but they couldn't make sure that a 16-year-old girl got home safe. Really sad. Really, really strange. It's really sad. This all could have been avoided. And they're cleaning up while they're drunk. That doesn't make sense. For me, this is another thing that Meghan didn't say, but I've been always asking myself, guys, this is really important. Do you think that when Kylie's mother, when she got up in the morning and she couldn't find Kylie, she said she called Kylie's friend? I wonder if she called Sammi. I don't think so. I think she called Mags, and Mags must have called Sammi. I know when parents are stressed, they would do that, but I wish that the mother went to the scene herself and did not tell them first, because they would have had a good chance to cover it up. Maybe they went and cleaned up the scene then. And I wonder, I don't mean to say anything about the mother and the family, but why did they wait to 5:30 to give a police report? Oh my God, I wouldn't have slept if my child or any of my children were missing late at night. I don't think I would have slept. Of course, we are human beings, we get tired. The mother must have slept, that's all right. But 8 o'clock in the morning, you didn't find your child at home? You should be on panic mode. So this is something is really not right in this case. I feel sorry for poor Kylie and her family. And Meghan kept on making excuses for these teenagers. She said these teenagers all went to the same school and all that, and they were grew up like brothers and sisters and all. But it's very strange that she made the fight seem to be a very normal thing, that they fight just to get the tension off. What tension would you have? Who goes to parties to fight and get drunk? That didn't make sense at all. And then, yeah, she said Sammy told her that Kylie was too drunk to drive, and Sammy thought that Kylie would sleep it off. Why would you let a 16-year-old girl sleep it off? Sammy says that she wouldn't go with Kylie's car because Kylie was too drunk, so she was thinking wisely not to go with a drunk driver. That we understand. But how dare do you leave a 16-year-old girl drunk by herself? Not only are you breaking the girl's code, you're breaking the human code. That is a baby. That's a 16-year-old baby. You don't do that. Yeah, and she kept on saying the teens drive to the back roads and not the front roads. I really believe somebody must have hit Kylie's car from behind. And she said many of the people in the party, at times she says they were brothers and sisters, like, and they all knew each other, grew up together and shared same DNA or some crap like that. But then she turns around and says later, yeah, but the people in the party, not everyone knew each other. Some were friends of friends of friends. She said it thrice. Yeah, they all like brothers and sisters. They were, yeah, let's not forget there was an after party, just like we all discussed before. And she said there was another party going on in Reno. Strange. Reno. And I don't know why she would say that she did not speak on it much. But she said that's why Sammy was asked if Kylie ran away from her. Why would Kylie run from the proselyte and you're running away from home and you run just 35 minutes to Reno? Doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, when she was asked about why the roads were blocked in crime stories obsessed, she said something about, or was it in Michelle's interview? She said something about, yeah, people are going to another after party, so it was just a coincidence. There isn't any coincidence. 12:30, the road was blocked by two guys, and apparently, allegedly, some of them were running without t-shirts and they're running around with baseballs. Let's not forget Adventures with Purpose told us that somebody who's very credible called them and told them that there was a fight that broke out between Kylie and someone else. I believe it's with Kylie and Sammy. I don't care what people say. I saw a lot of bruises on her knees and all. You can see that in the picture. So there was an after party. She said Jagger was not there at the day of the party. I always say that. I always rule Jagger out many times. Many people used to ask me in my comments, and they not believe Jagger. I used to say he was just a weirdo, but I really don't believe Jagger was involved. Unless Jagger's mobile was with his father and he was there. But I really doubt that. And the last thing was Sammy said that she was, what was this about? She was not in the party on the 9th of August. No, yeah. Sammy said, yeah, that the waters and the lakes were checked on the 9th of August and Kylie's car wasn't found there. That I find really strange too, because it was only 14 feet deep. I don't know, Placer County seems to be a cover up place, from law enforcement to the neighbors to the parents telling the children not to talk. What a place, that a community that is gone so ethically wrong. They have no morals. There's sad. And Megan decided to mention that there were actually some sober people in the party. If there were some sober people in the party, why didn't they speak up? They would have at least have had some guilt in them. Everybody saw what happened and everybody knew what happened, but nobody wants to get involved because most of these people have rich parents. I even heard allegedly that the sheriff, his own son, was at the party. I don't know if that was true, but it makes a lot of sense. And she kept on saying, all we can do now is move forward. Obviously, Megan, it's easy for you to say to move forward because Kylie wasn't your daughter. You're more busy trying to arrange and plan an interview for Sammy, which is really wrong because Kylie deserves her justice. We need to find out what happened to Kylie. Although it's going to be ruled as an accident, I personally believe. Yeah, she kept on saying, let's move forward. She spoke about that Cody Million guy that his family owed the towing company. But they don't own it anymore. She said, yeah, he's a troublesome kid. And she said after COVID, a pandemic, we got many new people moving into areas. She said that he's a local, but he's been a troublemaker and everybody knows him to be a bad boy. That's her words, not mine. She said he's not a good guy. He's a local guy. He's bad. Everyone knows him to be bad. And Cody was in the party. I wonder if he was one of the people blocking the roads. And then I read a bit about him that says he's a predator. He's allegedly raped. He's a rapist. That's what's written. I hate to say that. So this is for entertainment purpose only. We don't know. We're not sure. But he is. There is many crimes on him. He was kicked out of high school, allegedly, or he was supposed to be kicked out of high school, but he isn't, and all his victims feel unsafe. And the principal speaks so highly about the high school, but he still has Cody around, and that is so sad. Because if that is true, no girl deserves to be raped. No girl or no boy deserves to have aggressive behavior on them. I don't care how much money this guy has or what his parents own. It's just a shame. So there were many dodgy people in the party. This could have been just a pure accident. Kylie, I still believe, could have been overdosed because she knows those routes, she knows those places, and Kylie knows her car well. So, of course, being drunk, it would have been a different sight than being sober. But then once you know your car, once you know the area, Kylie would have known that she's going towards a lake. I wonder if somebody didn't physically made her go there, but did something to. Or maybe, God forbid, Kylie was already dead and she was put in a car and somebody drove the car into the water because all we saw was the car going in the water. So foul play is still a possibility. I really hope that we get justice for this girl. And after Kylie, guys, I really hope. I saw one of the creators was saying in Crime and Stories and Obsessed, she said, what do we do now if they say it's foul play and all? And I just said, I sent a super chat and I said, I don't mean to be rude, but it's true. I say, we just move on. Because there are other children who need us. That's what I wrote. Let's get justice for Summer Moon Wells. There are many other children that deserve justice. I really believe that. And they should get the justice. Guys in Sacramento and in California, look after yourselves. There's a serial killer going on there. He's killed 6 people since April up to now. He's a man. He's been killing Spanish men. 5 Spanish men are dead, and I believe 1 black guy or 1 white guy. So guys, look after yourselves. And guys, Halloween is coming near. Apparently the fentanyl is gone so bad that it's on ABC News and CNN News, guys. So look after yourselves, look after your children. Apparently there was a bus of fentanyl pills for 15,000 pills was put in a Lego box of games, and it looked like Lego. So guys, fentanyl is really a epidemic that many children and many innocent lives, young people are dying over. Look after yourselves. Love you all. Take care. And have a lovely weekend, guys. See you soon. Bye. And peace and justice to Kylie Rodney's family. And rest in peace, Kylie. May God bless your soul. I'm definitely sure you're one of God's beautiful angels. Let's hope that such things don't happen again, and I hope that Chucky wakes up and looks after the youngsters and stops letting them party in such places in the woods by themselves, because that is a accident bound to happen. And guys, look after yourselves. Love you. Bye.